Yo, what up, everybody? It is the Enough Said podcast, as usual, 11 a.m. Sunday morning. Here we go, gentlemen. It is season 4, episode 11. How you all feeling? Everybody all right after that Eagles game? I don't know if Mike was laughing. I don't know what's going
Man,
on.
come on.
I'm
After
okay,
Eagles game,
yeah.
Sal, you don't have to ask. I mean, you know it, man. We beat them stupid stars, them dumb falling stars, man. That's what's up.
We're gonna
I
get into
feel
that.
good. I feel good after this, man. Yeah, I mean, it was a rough ride. I ain't gonna lie to you. It wasn't like a blowout, but hey, we got it done. Or what they say, it was an ugly win, but we got it done.
I gotta feel good because if Dallas had won that game, we still be hearing about it at this very moment. Probably every single talk show would be sitting there talking right now about how the Cowboys are going all the way and Dak is the best quarterback ever and whatever else you can think of.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not only that, but it shut Skip Bayless up for a while anyway. That's the most important thing. That guy, man.
Yes,
him and Stephen A, man.
Oh yeah.
You saw Stephen A's little video. He was on the airplane ride. He said, "I told you so. I told y'all." He's like, "Did I say that?"
Every time you lose.
Yeah, Skip comes out. The Cowboys were the better team. They lost. You mean the better team? They lost at the end of the day.
They lost.
Right.
Come on, man.
And look, I was talking to my buddy at work because he's a big Cowboys fan, and I was trying to explain to him. I was like, the thing that happened with the Cowboys is what you've seen happen plenty of times, and that's when it's tight at the very end of a game. And then the wheels fall off. The decision making becomes a problem. The penalties become a problem. I mean, you look at that sequence of events that happened on that. I mean, to some degree, Philly was trying to get that game away. I mean, between them and the refs, it was just kind of like, oh my God, they really are going to lose this game.
Yeah.
And they get down the field. You get to like the 6-yard line, then it's false start, sack, then like the delay of game, and then all of a sudden the last play is a pass that's 5 yards short of the end zone. Like, dude, CeeDee Lamb gets hit like 5 people. Right. Like he was never going to score. Like, what were you thinking? You got to get the ball to the end zone or at least like the 1 or 2 yard line.
Yeah,
so he has a chance. But that's what the Cowboys have been doing for so long. That's what Cowboy fans get so frustrated is because it's those kind of moments. They can have a 13-4 season, a 14-3 season. They can win a whole bunch of games, but when you have these important games, they can play well for 3.5 quarters, and then when it's that crunch time, it just doesn't. I mean, everything goes wrong. Coaching, the whole organization just goes wrong.
Exactly, and not only that, I think it was meant to be for us to win because I didn't expect Dak to step out. I thought he had the touchdown. I mean, and yeah, people said, "Oh, the angle and all that." I'm sorry, but as a quarterback, I think I would have got my foot. I would have known how to get into that angle, to that corner. And to me, if he would have scored that, I think Eagles would have lost the game. I mean, the way it was going. So you're right, Mike. They shoot themselves in the foot, literally.
Or the guy getting tackled on a 1 yard, where he
2-point
was
conversion.
Short.
Yep.
2-point conversion.
And the guy was that short. What was that? A 2-point? That was a touchdown. Maybe it was that's what that was a touchdown that they put back. Right?
I can't remember, guys.
Dak messed up the 2-point conversion. I think the other guy had the tackle on, like, basically he was like a half-inch short, because he turned and fell and he hit the ground before he crossed the plane. And it's just, but those are the kind of things that just happen with the Cowboys, and that's what frustrates Cowboy fans and people like that team because you see that too often. I mean, it's in the championship games against the 49ers the last 2 years. What was it? The last play of the game when Zeke got blown up, and you're like, what was that? You didn't have a better play than that for that part of the game. This is the end of the season. You're gonna do some kind of hand-me-down single single running back lineman snapping the ball so you can get crushed. I mean,
that's on
terrible.
the highlight reel now, man.
And then
it's
the
in
year
the vault.
before that, what happened? They ran out of time on the last play of the game. You remember Dak lost track of the play clock. They caught the ball and they were trying to run up and hurry up a play, and then the rest was trying to set the ball and they couldn't get it set in time, and the clock ran out, and San Francisco won that game. And it was just those kind of things that just continually happen with the Cowboys. I don't think that whoever the coach is, whoever the quarterback is, it's those critical moments that mistakes just happen.
Yep.
And that's what caused them to lose.
Yep.
Yeah. And they're going to keep doing, and that's the difference that separates an 8-1 team from 5-3 team right now. I mean, there's 2 wins. Now the Eagles are 2.5 games up. We'll see what happens today with Dallas, but Eagles have that nice lead, and not only that, but they have control over the conference for the moment. But some big injuries too. Dean is going to be out now for 4 weeks. Dallas Goedert is going to be out for 4 weeks. The secondary is questionable. I'm gonna bring up Bradbury in a few minutes. He's been definitely not what he was last year, and he almost single-handedly cost the Eagles that game. I mean, that was awful.
Yeah,
I texted you guys. I'm like, somebody get this dude out of the game because he is struggling. I mean, but I think Goddard is going to hurt him, and when you got Mahomes coming up, and you got Buffalo coming up, and you got all these teams now, Dallas again, and San Francisco, you got Purdy. The secondary's got to be there, and you're going to need Dallas Goedert against those defenses, and the Eagles aren't going to have him, and they really don't have another tight end that's a threat. They're more just kind of blockers or long snappers. So some key injuries for the Eagles going forward, and I think it's going to be a coming weeks.
I agree with that. Yeah. I'll add on more, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a tough stretch of games. But every time things look tough, the Eagles seem to match up to it. You thought. I mean, you guys sound like Miami was just a track meet, and then what happened in that game? Miami barely scored 15 points. I mean, it was just
and Mike, that actually comes down to the front caused that to happen, and that's why I've been saying this all season so far. We keep that front intact, we're going to win. Yes, that's true. We do need help from secondaries, no question about that.
Yeah.
But
and now Jalen Carter's got a back injury, hit ankle.
Yeah,
now
he got a back, right?
So it's tough,
But and then there's key players. I'll mention a little bit more about that. Yeah.
All right, well, let's look at Bradbury. So here are the stats, and this is pretty interesting. So last year, this is last year, 68 cornerbacks who were targeted at least 3 times per game. Bradbury's rating of 51.6, best in the NFL. Okay, he allowed completions on just 45.3% of the passes. Okay, which was best in the NFL. He only allowed 4.4 yards per target, which was best in the NFL. Pro Football Focus gave him an 80.0 grade. Okay, which is pretty good. So, which ranked 10th out of 118 cornerbacks last year. All right, cool. Next thing, really quickly. Oh yeah, bring that boy in, man. It's about time he showed up. Bring him in. If he's waiting in the wings. I lost him. Okay, we'll get him out again. All right, this year, his defensive rating has gone from second best at 51.6 to 62nd best at 117.6. His completion percentage has increased from 45 to 57.4%, and his targets per yards have skyrocketed from 4.4 to 6.7. His rating plunged from 80 last year to 53.9 this year. So he's gone from 10th out of 118 corners to 101st out of 114 corners. I mean, that is a huge turnaround.
That's a huge drop off. That's a huge drop. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with him. Slay has not been much better. He's like middle of the pack through his numbers, like similar to that, but not much better. He's kind of like in that 50 percentile range. So they say this happens to guys who are in their 30s, but I don't know what you guys think. Is it the 30-year-old? Is he slowing down? Does it just wear on you chasing after these wide receivers for 10 games like this? I mean,
to me, I think it's actually the play scheme, how these players are positioned by our new coordinator. Possibly they're not comfortable with the way they got to adjust the way the coordinator wants. You know what I mean? Like
okay.
I'm saying that's outweighs more than the aging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that might be a cause of it as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is it because we were kind of going through the same thing with San Francisco a little bit. New coordinator has a little bit different take on the defense, especially in terms of giving more man coverage than maybe what was happening last year. Like for us, Steve Wilson has done a lot more blitzing, which put a lot more man, and then it's exposed our cornerbacks quite a bit. So like someone like Charvarius Ward, who's one of the higher ranked, or at least expect to be higher ranked cornerbacks in the league. He's had some pretty big plays he's given up this year because he hasn't won every single matchup he's had when he's out there by himself with no coverage. So I think with Bradbury there could be a case of a little bit of change with Sean Desai and his offense, and on top of that, just slowing down, and it's just honestly people just, I guess, being a little more daring to pick on them. Why not give it a shot? Get a pass interference, and if you can, then go for it.
Yeah, they're picking on Bradbury. What do we got? An airplane taking off, Jermaine? What the hell is that?
What's up, Jermaine?
All I hear is
mobile. It's mobile, Jermaine. Everybody.
Yeah, I'm on it. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys.
Might have to pull over, man.
Oh my God! Safe driving, dude. Don't get into an accident, man.
Yeah, man. This is live, man.
I know. Yeah, right. Yeah. Whole bunch of witnesses. Hey, if I get pulled over.
I know how it goes down there in Georgia. You're looking for a Chevron right now. I know.
Looking for a Chevron.
And you know what? I'm on dead E too. I'm on E. The lights on and everything.
Man, you know that's your MO.
Yeah, you know that's the MO every time.
That's
man.
your MO.
So I'm like 3 miles. I'm like 3 miles to empty. So.
All right.
Yeah, pull over.
Pull
over, man.
Well, we were just talking about the Eagles, Jermaine. We were talking about the big drop off with Bradbury, man, and that scared the hell out of me. I don't know if you heard the numbers that I just said with Bradbury dropping off, but it's astounding what's happened to him, man. He almost single-handedly cost him that game last week.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially that pass interference call. I was just like, oh, my God, are you kidding me? I mean, he didn't even try to attempt to turn around. No. He just mangled the guy. You know what I mean? So, it is scary, but thank God this is the bye. So hopefully they can reset. Hopefully Bradbury can come on the second half and turn things around, which, I don't know what's going to happen, but, yeah, that's all we can hope and pray for,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting one of their slot corners back this week or next week, which should help. But again, like we were talking about, you got Jalen Carter hurt, Dallas Goedert hurt, you got Nakobe Dean hurt. So you got some injuries here that you're dealing with too that we're trying to get through. So
Nakobe Dean is done. From what I heard, he's got a Liz Frank. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys heard. He's done for the season.
Is that definite? Okay.
Yeah, he's done for the season. So. And then Jalen Carter, my thing is, I don't think it's nothing serious. I mean, I didn't hear anything about, what the severity. I don't think he was on the injury report, but I think he'll be back, on the bye, after the bye week. But the one thing I'm really concerned about is that, these college rookies, these stud players, I hope he's just not running out of gas. He only had one tackle last week. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I know he's going against Zach Martin and stuff, but we just don't know if he's running out of gas. College games versus NFL games, you know what I mean? You're playing more games in the NFL. You just hope you don't run out of gas at the end of the season. So
that's a good point because we were thinking about Jordan Davis was the same way last year. He was
last year the same way.
Same way. So And now from the sophomore of Jordan Davis, he's really turned around. So, well, we'll see. With Jalen Carter.
Dre, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Dre. You saw Jalen go down with that knee.
Yeah.
What is going on? What is, that was scary, man. He was down for the count for a minute or two.
Yeah, he was down for a little bit. The way the guy hit him, it did look like, ooh, okay, that's not good. But he has the brace on, so something is definitely bothering him. With the knee injury, but at the same time, I mentioned this before, he's still playing at a great level with the injury. So
if he didn't have brace on, if he didn't have that brace on, guys, yeah, he's done.
Right. Right.
He's done.
Right.
Yeah, that was RG3 stuff right there. If he didn't have that brace on, man.
Yeah. So I think that's like what we're seeing now about why he's ginger about the run, the RPO run play option.
Yeah.
And staying more into the pocket, and he rolls out a lot when he doesn't see anything. So yeah, I hope the bye week can get a little bit more, rubbing on that knee, so rub it down, ice it, some treatment.
Whatever works, man.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it ain't the towel, guys. It's not the towel.
The rubbing of the knee. That's hilarious.
Whatever you want to call it, man.
Oh man.
Shocking, electrolyte, needle, rub, whatever.
Yeah, let's just go with let's just go with treatment, okay? Not the rubbing of the knee.
Yeah, treatment. Yeah. Okay. Treatment with a towel.
Oh man. All right. Well, before Jermaine runs out of gas and this goes downhill, let's move on here really quickly because we got a lot to talk about this week. We got our mid-season picks. We got our picks from last week. Dre, if I didn't pick the Eagles to lose the first couple of weeks, I'd be in this freaking thing. I went 4-1 last week, man. Give us what happened last week, man. Give us what happened.
So last week, our guest Eddie, he went 2-3. Mike went 2-3. Jermaine was 4-1. You Sal 4-1, and I was 3-2.
Okay.
Now we have the weekly standings. Showing you now that Jermaine is in the lead with 31-14. We got Mike 29-16. Now Mike lost that lead by his horrible 2-3 pick last week. He went with those Bills. He should not pick those Bills last week. That was the difference there because Jermaine took the Bengals. That hurt him, and also the Jets. Jermaine took San Diego. So, and Sal, you did a turnover. You got past me, buddy.
There you
you're
go,
up by
man.
1 win.
Oh wow.
27-18.
There you
and
go.
Then, I'm 26-19. So
right.
I'm the one now. Got to come behind the 8 ball and try to get back in this. So this is going to be a tight race. Like Sal, you're 2 games back from Mike. So
right.
so
Let's
this
see
is
what
going to
happens.
be interesting, guys.
All right. Well, let's get into
I'll
it then.
make some good picks today. That's for sure.
Yeah, we got our normal 5 games here, and there's some good ones, and of course we always have our clunker game, which is always fun. All right, let's start out Cleveland and Baltimore. Cleveland is 5-3, and Baltimore is 7-2. They've been kind of on a roll lately. So we'll start with Jermaine. You got Cleveland or you got Baltimore, Jermaine?
Man, I'm telling you, Baltimore is playing lights out. You know what I'm saying? And, hats off to Mike, for predicting that because I thought they was going to have another subpar season. But, hey, the way they're playing on all cylinders. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm definitely picking Baltimore. Baltimore for the win.
Got Baltimore down.
Baltimore.
On paper.
Mike, what do you think, bud?
Yeah, I'm not catching up with Jermaine on this one. Yeah, I'm taking Baltimore. They're playing in Baltimore, and Baltimore, those big games they've had where they blew out the Lions and they blew out the Sea Chickens. Both of those were at home, so Baltimore is just a different animal when they're playing at home. their defense is doing really good. Lamar and the offense is coming together. Still have some herky jerkiness, with turnovers. He's still doing the whole loaf of bread thing, but but they're running the ball well. That's kind of their MO is run the ball, play good defense, and force turnovers, and that's their thing. And they're playing good. So definitely Baltimore.
All right, Dre, you want me to go? Or do you want to pick?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take Baltimore too, but this is a divisional game. We got Cleveland, who's got Myles Garrett, and they got a heck of a defense themselves. Yeah, he's going against the human joystick is what we always call these mobile quarterbacks. But it's going to come down to, I think, turnovers in this game today. I think Kareem Hunt's back, right? So yeah, Kareem Hunt's back. I'm even though I'm leaning towards Cleveland, but I think Baltimore, because I've been impressed. I've been like you said, Jermaine. They turned around and Baltimore's flying on all four cylinders there, and I'm really impressed with Mike. You're gonna okay, Dre. I'm impressed with Lamar Jackson. I'm impressed with him.
You said that.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
It hurt to say that, didn't it?
Yeah, it hurt to say that, but no, he's
a little sore, isn't it?
He's been improving, so I'm going to take Baltimore.
All right, yeah, I'm not going to go against the grain on this one. I think Baltimore. If it was in Cleveland, I might give it a second thought, but it's tough to beat them in Baltimore. I think it's going to be a close one. I'm with you guys on that. Divisional games are always tough. But I think in the end, I think Jackson, if he has the games that he's been having, I think it's just going to be too much for Cleveland to kind of, move past that. So, yep, I'm going with Baltimore as well. So everybody's pretty universal on that one. All right, next one. We have Detroit and San Diego, guys. So we're back to Jermaine on this one. So Detroit is 6-2. San Diego is 4-4. So Jermaine.
Yeah, like I said, with San Diego, I picked them last week, and I said I'm not going to pick them anymore, and I said they'll be done for the rest of the season. So yeah, they won their Super Bowl last week, Mike. So yeah, I'm definitely picking Detroit. Detroit, they're getting Montgomery back, so they may have a two-headed monster in the backfield. I'm telling you, if Jameson Williams from Alabama, if he could get his stuff right and whatnot and start receiving some targets and all that stuff, and then you got St. Brown and then Reynolds, oh my God. I mean, the offensive line is a juggernaut. I mean, you got all that talent and all that stuff. So, but yeah, bottom line is I think Detroit's is gonna beat up on San Diego this week. So.
All right, Mike, who you got?
Boy. Yeah, I got burned by the Chargers last week by picking the Jets. But, San Diego is at home, even though that's not necessarily a big advantage for them. But I think I'm still going to go with the Chargers. I don't know. Here's my surprise pick. The thing about Jared Goff and what I saw last week with the Chargers, I mean, yes, it's the Jets offensive line, so they're not the best. But, they got to. They were able to pressure the quarterback, and what I saw what Baltimore did to Jared Goff was they got pressure on him, and everything really fell apart when he got pressured. So I'm hoping and counting on Khalil Mack and Bosa and the other rusher they got out there that actually did pretty good for San Diego to come in and maybe make a difference and pressure Jared Goff and get some turnovers and actually win the game based off of that. So, yeah, I'm thinking Chargers.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Dre?
So you mentioned Bosa, and that's the thing. I was like, where is Nick's brother? I was like, where is he? I haven't heard nothing. What's going on? Because Bosa is just as good as his brother, Nick. So, and Khalil Mack, man, he's just still, he was there doing his things. So you got those two guys up there. And then Eckler. Eckler, man, that guy, he always, what they say, he touched the ball, he always scores. And then where is the receiver, Jermaine? You liked him in your fantasy football, Allen, for San Diego.
Keenan Allen.
Yeah,
Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Keenan Allen seemed like he's always.
Yeah.
He had a great catch last week.
Yeah, great catch last week. So I'm going to go with San Diego. I like Detroit. Detroit is really a good team. But I think San Diego's going to pull this out and go have two wins this for the last 2 weeks. I'm going with San Diego.
All right, so this is an interesting one because I was more comfortable in Detroit picking Detroit. You know, here's the thing about Detroit: they got good coaching. Right? They've had good coaching this year. Justin Herbert is just still, you never know what you're going to get out of him. That's the only thing. I think the X factor in this game is the Detroit defense, which is not bad. So I'm going to go with Detroit on this one. I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm going to go with Detroit on this one. And I'm with Jermaine. And San Diego is my team in the past, but
yeah, it is.
I might regret this one, but I'm going to go with Detroit. The only thing that worries me is it being on the road, but let's see what happens. I'll go against the grain here with Jermaine.
Hey, I got a ride on Jermaine's coattail so I can catch up to y'all. So, you know.
The thing with San Diego, and I feel sorry for the San Diego fans, is whatever they're called. They're not called San Diego. What are they, Las Vegas?
LA.
I mean, Los Angeles?
Yeah. We call them San Diego.
Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, well, the San Diego Chargers. No, I'm just saying. But Los Angeles Chargers. The thing, I feel sorry for their fan base. It's like they're like the Cowboys. They'll tease you, and then all of a sudden when you think that they're over the hump, then all of a sudden they throw a clunker, and then you're back to square one. That's the way I see it. They're on a 2-game winning streak right now, and yes, they should win this game because it's a simple fact they're home. You know what I mean? But I just don't, the inconsistency. Here we go, back to the inconsistency.
And actually, bring on to that. Aren't they sharing the stadium with the LA Rams, the SoFi?
Yeah.
They do.
Well, there you go, Jermaine. The fans don't have no identity. They don't know. Just like the Jets. I think that's the problem with New York and the Jets too. They share MetLife Stadium. 1 minute is green, 1 minute is blue. I mean,
Lakers and Clippers share a stadium, so I mean.
They've been doing that for years. But in football terms, man, you gotta have that. You gotta have your own house. Or Jermaine talking about have your house in order for me. So San Diego / LA Rams, or LA Chargers. Yeah, you guys gotta get your own stadium.
Right. Yeah. And Dre, before we leave the show today, speaking of basketball in LA, we got to talk about LeBron's museum. Can we get over this? We'll talk about that later.
I'll give you a 30-second commercial for my maybe less than 30 seconds. I'll tell you right now.
LaFraud in his museum. All right. Anyway, next game. Now, guys, don't tick Sierra off on this one. This is Houston. Cincinnati. Houston and Cincinnati. Houston is 4-4. Cincinnati is 5-3. Jermaine, don't tick Sierra off.
No, I'm not taking no. I'm on board with. I knew, every year the Bengals start off on a slow start. You know what I mean? And then Burrow was hurt with that calf and all that stuff. He looked like he's back in prime now. You know what I mean? He's locked in and everything. So no, I'm not going against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's on a roll now. I don't know. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they're banged up. I don't know if they're both game time decisions. They said Chase finished off the week practicing, but T. Higgins was hurt. So still, you got Chase on the field. He's what did he say? 7-11. You know what I mean? He's always open. He's always open, and Burrow gets it. They got that connection. So Bengals are on the roll, and they're going to keep rolling this week.
All right.
It's interesting. There was a rumor out there that Chase said that he would take a pay cut to get Justin Jefferson over, and they could be reunited. I don't say they could afford both of them. Could you imagine that wide receiver tandem, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase? Holy crap.
They won't allow that.
They
won't allow that. NFL be like, no.
Yeah.
I think just the Eagles alone. I mean, would just be a mess. That's all, because you only got one ball and you got two talented wide receivers. Jeez.
Yeah. That's true, man.
All right, Mike, what do you got, man? Do you think Houston's going to be able to pull it out on Cincy?
No, I'm gonna take the Bengals. Yeah, I'm taking a safe pick this week.
Safe pick.
I do think Houston will do better than what people are expecting of them. You know, I know people were impressed with C.J. Stroud, and he's almost 500 yards passing last week. I don't think that's going to happen again today, but I do think Houston is up and coming. You know, they're definitely a scrappy team, and I think they will give the Bengals a little bit of a fight that they probably aren't expecting. But I mean, I saw it firsthand with Joe Burrow, you know, with the San Francisco game, and you know, he was efficient. I don't think he missed a pass. I mean, he had one drive where he was just didn't miss a pass. And then every time, you know, he didn't have to throw the ball, you know, he was out there scrambling and he was running pretty fast, you know, so he looked like he was back to his normal self. So, yeah, I gotta pick the Bengals.
He's going with Cincy.
I'm going with Cincy too. Houston is right now on high confidence right now. They see like I think they got a quarterback now. I really do. Talk about Houston, yeah. So they're playing the Bengals, man. Bengals are home.
Bengals are home.
Okay, so that's another thing too, man. I just not seeing Houston beating these guys, even though they're playing good ball.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston wins. I wouldn't be surprised if Houston wins. I mean, DeMeco Ryans, I mean, what he did in the draft, that's where it started. You know what I mean? Now they're on the map. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat the Bengals, but I'm still going with the Bengals. So
I would say
I'm not going to go against the grain on this one either. I think you know, if it was in Houston, it might be a little different, but it is in Cincinnati, and
there you go, unanimous decision.
Yeah, I don't see
Sierra should like us.
Yeah, that's right. All right, this is a tough one. This is a fourth game out of 5 here. New Orleans and Minnesota. Both teams are 5-4. You saw what happened last week, and you know, first shout out to Jermaine for calling it. I thought he was starting. The reports were he was starting. They got a pretty good quarterback in Minnesota now as a backup, Jermaine.
Let's see. Let's see. I mean, I know Dre's he's on the Dobbs train and whatnot. You know what I mean? Let's just see. Let's see what what's going on and what the deal is. But I feel as though both teams are subpar teams. You know what I'm saying? One of them is probably going to finish a 500 record. I mean, I'm just not on board with both of these teams, and I have no clue. I mean, like flip a coin. I mean, where's it being played at?
In Minnesota.
Oh, is it Minnesota? All right. Well, all right. I'll hop on the Dobbs train this week. You know what I mean? To see
all right.
I'm thinking. Ooh.
No, wait. Yeah, what, for that ink dries.
You know what? No, Jefferson. No, they don't. He's talking about he don't know when he's coming back. He said, "I want to come back 100%." And that's what he's saying. So, you know what? Let me take that back. I'm going with New Orleans.
Oh.
New Orleans does have a stout defense. So let's see what Dobbs does against a stout defense. They got New Orleans defense is pretty good. So yeah, right. I'll take this back. I'm going with the Saints.
The ink is on the paper. New Orleans.
Oh, wow. Man, I was going to take the Saints too. I was. Like you said, flip a coin kind of thing. And both teams are very much, they play ugly at times. It's just I can't say it any better than that. Man, I hate to do that. I guess I'm gonna have to pick opposite Jermaine so I can see if I can catch up. I think either team has a chance to win. Josh Dobbs, I am impressed with him. He's not like a great quarterback, but I'm impressed with how he's been able to really handle this season. I mean, they kind of passed around like a hot potato, and everywhere he's gone, he's kind of been able to figure it out. He's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
So
they're at home, so I'll give that the nod, maybe to win by a field goal. So I'll go with the Vikings.
Okay, Minnesota. I'm like I said, Jermaine said, I'm on the Dobbs train. From what I saw from Arizona to where now he's at Minnesota, went right in there. Like the playbook was null for him. Like he just like, okay, whatever. And then Justin Jefferson out, but you got the other wide receiver that took, Addison. Was it Addison? Is that his name? No.
Yeah, Jordan Addison.
Yeah, man. That guy showed that like, okay, all right, we got somebody that can, I'm not saying he's Jefferson, but he definitely showed that he could be the number one wide receiver while he's out. So you got that. You still got Hockenson. How you say his name is Hockenson? Yeah, the tight end.
Yeah,
tight end is very well as well. And then I think Minnesota is actually, Michael, you said it. Oh, Jermaine, you said 500. I think Minnesota's going to win the division. Honestly,
I just don't. They don't have a running game. They don't have a running game. Minnesota doesn't have a running game. Madison, and then they picked up Cam Akers. That could be an X factor right there because they got rid of Dalvin Cook because they put all their emphasis on Madison, and Madison hasn't been doing crap. Yeah. Alexander Madison, and then they got Cam Akers. They don't have a running game, and so they're going to say, all right, well, Dobbs, you threw it, you did it, you had your magic last week. Do it again. So I know they're prepared. Saints defense are prepared for Dobbs. Yep. That's just my opinion.
So I took Minnesota.
All right. Tails.
Tails.
God, it's tough because I do like Hockenson, I do like Addison, and the game is in Minnesota. So I could take the safe pick and probably go with Minnesota this week, or do I want to try to pick some ground on Dre here and go with New Orleans? So I
jumping
gotta
out the window.
Yeah, but I think I just gotta go. I just gotta go with New Orleans on this one.
All right, so you're taking the Saints.
I'm going to go with New Orleans. I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm going to try to get some points on Dre here. Could wind up biting me in the behind, but let's see what happens.
All right, so far, Detroit and LA Chargers and New Orleans and Minnesota are the two different factors here for us to win or lose. So it's going to be interesting.
Of course, it's this next pick. I already know who's coming.
Here we go.
I know people are going to go. I'm going to be the only one picking them, but go ahead.
Here we go, Sal. Let me get on the roller coaster, and before we go up and fall right down, I'm riding it. Let's go. All
right. In Jacksonville, Francisco is 5-3, coming to town 6-2. What do you got? Doug Peterson going to pull it out?
Oh, man. Wow.
Oh, I like this one. I can't wait for y'all to hear me.
It's funny how you worded. Is Doug Peterson going to put it? They're they're the underdogs. I swear.
Right.
They're the ones that are on the winning streak. It should be San Francisco going to pull it out.
Exactly.
Dougie P.
Wow. I know. Hey. I think it's going to be a good game. This is I feel as though it's definitely the game of the week. Because I think all eyes is on San Fran. Like, okay, y'all on a 3-game losing streak. You coming off a bye. What are y'all going to do? Everybody's looking at this game. Everybody's looking to see what San Fran's going to do. So with that being said, wow. And it's in Jacksonville, right? Mike, it's in Jacksonville?
Yeah, it's in Jacksonville. In a swamp. Hot, humid.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, the wheels are just hanging on by a thread, man. They lose this game today, Mike. You know what I mean? You can't go back to last year talking about, they lost 4 or 5, then they ran off. All right, look, man, I'm telling you. All right, I'm going with San Fran.
Okay. All right, Jermaine.
Look, the only thing is you came off a bye week. All right, you picked up what's his name? The other, you picked up Chase Young, right?
Chase Young.
So now Bosa has, some help on that line. Hargrave, look, you got your bye. Now, did you wake up? I mean, come on. I mean, it's all about that defense. It's all about that defense.
Yes.
That defense is going to carry you guys, and not putting it on Brock Purdy. So yes. And Christian McCaffrey's got to stay with the way he does. Look, you can't put that all on Brock Purdy. I'm picking San Fran. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tight one. It's going to be scary. Mike's going to be, Mike might have to go to the toilet a couple times and whatnot. But yeah, I'm going with San Fran. And if y'all don't win this, Mike, it's going to be, you got problems, man. I don't know what else to say. You got problems. Panic mode is definitely setting in. But yeah, San Fran.
Mike, panicking?
Not panicking, but I'm picking San Fran.
Okay.
I am counting on that defense to definitely improve. One thing I have seen with Trevor Lawrence is, he's played very well, but he is prone to turnovers. Fumbles in particular. So I'm hoping that they can really get pressure on him and, get some strip sacks, things like that. I think Brock Purdy will be fine. Debo's back. Trent Williams, I don't think is going to play. But I think he'll be okay. I think I'm picking San Francisco. I also roll with them. Yep.
All right, Trey, you gonna make it unanimous?
So let me remember. Did I pick Arizona over San Fran? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I did. And unfortunately, Mike, I'm picking the Jags. The Jags are the team that nobody's talking about, man, in that division. The Jags, to me, you got to step down Kansas City. You got to step down Buffalo and put the Jags up there as one of the AFC contenders for this year. I'm feeling the Jags on this one, man. And like we talked earlier off the show, you guys gotta really win this game. And to me, it's on Brock Purdy more than the defense. To me, so I'm on Doug's train. So I'm taking the Jags.
Okay. Man. Yeah, no, I don't
they're hot right now.
I don't think that's a controversial pick. I mean, it's definitely a tight game, and Jacksonville has been on a win streak. So they won more games, and that's why the record is what it is versus San Fran, who started out hot and got a little cold. So, yeah, no, I'm not surprised you picked them. So,
and I have to because I'm on the bottom of the barrel in the standings, so I gotta get ahead. I gotta get.
Oh man,
what you got, Sal?
This is a tough one because, do I see San Francisco losing 4 games in a row? No. I mean, it's hard to lose 4 games in a row, but Jacksonville has played so well and the game is in Jacksonville. So it's a tough to look at both sides. It's really difficult. But Dre, I'm going to jump out the window with you on this one.
All right,
I got to do it. I got to do Jackson.
Let's go.
I got to, Doug Peterson hopefully will have a game plan today. I agree that the turnovers are tough with Lawrence at times. And if it comes down to turnovers today and they lose that bad, then San Francisco will win this game. But if it doesn't, I think that Jacksonville can pull this out at home. I really do. So, and let's not forget that San Francisco is flying across the country as well. I know they had a bye week. I get that.
They're well rested. Yeah.
They are well rested, but yeah. So I'm going with Jacksonville. So Dre, you and I will both be in the tube on this one if they lose. So
I know, right?
Yeah.
But it's fun, man. I love these picks. I love picking.
Yeah. All right. So do we lose? We lost Jermaine, I guess. For
looks like
awards. I was hoping to have him for these awards. I guess we're gonna.
Well, he might come back in. So
okay.
Go ahead, Sal. What we got next, man, for the show?
All right. So Mike had a great idea this week. Let's do mid-season picks here. Some awards and some things so far. So we got a bunch of things that we're gonna pick now, from MVP to offensive and defense player of the year, rookies, and both offense and defensive, and then the most potential to finish strong this year. So we'll talk about all that. We'll roll through really quickly here. Let's start out with MVP. I think that was the first one I saw on the list. So let's start out with that. Dre, what do you got? I know you got a little something there that you were going to.
So yeah, I'm gonna bring it up right now. You see the standings, but the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right,
the MVP for mid-season.
Woo!
And
all right,
and I want Mike to hold on to his seat.
Oh shoot! I know who he's gonna pick.
I don't know who he's gonna pick. What?
I knew
Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
Lamar Jackson is the mid-season MVP. I mean, he really has turned it around, guys. And I'm looking at this and did my homework. He leads the league in 71.5% 5% completions. Okay. He also averages over 10.2 yards per throw during the play action. No other quarterback has done that. And he's second in 94.4 rating. And of course, we know about his run, man. I mean, the guy's running like crazy. He has the league high with 48.9 yards per game. What you mentioned earlier, I just really see him. This is what I wanted to see, Mike, from the last year and even the year before. this is the type of performance I wanted to see from him. And he keeps this up, man. He is a runner for MVP for the end of the season, I think. Because I'm impressed. That's what I got, guys.
All right,
Mike, you gonna respond to that?
I can't knock. Yeah, no, I can't knock Lamar as a pick. I struggle with trying to pick an MVP, based off the season so far. So I really couldn't go with a single player, so I had to go with a unit. And I actually picked the Eagles' offensive line.
Nice.
You don't get 8-1, especially with a hobbled quarterback, and without a solid offensive line. And the Eagles' offensive line right now, based on statistics, with their win rate for passing and blocking, for passing, they are number 4th ranked offensive line in their win rate, and for running blocking, they're number 1. And if you look at the stats for every other team, you might have like Kansas City is number 1 for passing and like number 22 for running. So there's like every other team in the league that has like a high ranked offensive line is good in one, but not in the other. But the Eagles are top in both. And I think that is a big reason. I know you talk about the front 4 on the defense, but it's those front 5 on the offense, I think, have also made a world of difference. I mean, that game where, the 2 games where Swift went off running, when Jalen was kind of struggling, that's offensive line. It wasn't a whole bunch of Swift doing a lot of juking and breaking tackles. It was really just, dude, I got a lane and I'm hitting it and I'm gone. And that's because these guys are making the holes for me. And then when Jalen was looking to have to pass the ball, to get the ball to AJ Brown, and some those plays do take time for him to get down the field, and they've been giving him time. I mean, I have not seen Jalen have to scramble and make a lot of plays with his legs and try to buy time. It's just been good offensive line play that's made a world of difference for that team, really on both sides of the ball. But I'm saying that's the MVP midseason pick right now is the Eagles offensive line, that whole entire unit.
Very nice. I agree with that.
All right, Jermaine, your MVP for the season?
Definitely. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely Lamar Jackson. I mean, I'm looking at these stats. These stats that Dre put up is phenomenal. I can't. I mean, 71.5 completion. I'm like, this is crazy. I mean, I think he's definitely going to run away with it if he keeps it up.
Right. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. If he keeps it up, that's the biggest thing. Because anyone could just go on a flop, but this man has just been, he's playing out of his mind. Yeah, definitely. My pick was Lamar Jackson.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I actually had 2. Jackson was 1, and then Dre's gonna fall out of his chair when I tell him who my other one is.
Hey, go ahead, man. Let me brace myself.
Oh, Jordan Davis.
The real deal. You gotta give AJ Brown. Yeah. You gotta give AJ Brown credit so far. I mean, the guy is played out of his mind. You got to give him credit. So, I mean, I think the 2 of them, Lamar Jackson and AJ Brown were my 2 that I had. And nice. AJ, because of his work ethic on the field, like, I had my differences with him because of his, crybaby stuff or whatever, but he's been showing it on the field. And that's what I've been impressed about. He's stopped that. He's shown it on the field and he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And if he keeps it going, I mean, he's probably right now the best wide receiver in the league at the moment. I don't know if you guys think there's anybody else, but for me, he's the best one right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I also had a secondary pick of Myles Garrett, just as a defensive player who's been playing lights out for MVP. I had Myles Garrett up there.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go
to offense. Let's go to offense.
Go ahead,
and what a segue, man, because that's a great what you just ended it with, because that's who I have as the offensive player of the midseason award. I mean, look at this, man. AJ Brown has been streaking in the last 6 games 125 yards per game. And he also is on pace for over 1,200 yards. Okay. And my next bulletin is, this is very, very interesting. In a single year with the same amount of completion yardage, the last 2 who did it was Reggie Wayne and Randy Moss. So you got to put AJ Brown with that group. That's a pretty good darn group he's with. Okay. And he's a game changer, guys. He's been bailing out Jalen Hurts and the number 1 go-to guy. So yes. And he's also breaking a couple of Eagles records too. I got to look at some of the other ones that he's been breaking, some of the Eagles wide receiver records. So to me, man, this guy is the real deal. And midway through the season, maybe even to the final season, like you said, MVP, but he's definitely my offensive player of the midseason.
All right, Mike.
Man, yeah, AJ Brown is definitely a great choice, and I probably is going to lean with him. I actually went with Christian McCaffrey.
Nice.
You know, the guy's he just scores touchdowns. I mean, he's got a streak right now of I think 17, 18 straight games going for last season of scoring a touchdown. This season, he scored a touchdown every single game they played, and he's been the difference maker. Really, the only knock with him so far this year has really just been the 2 fumbles he had that were in the red zone, where those are the 2 games they actually lost that they probably could have won if they had scored. But aside from that, you know, the guy's just he's explosive, man. I mean, if he's catching the ball, running the ball, he's a dangerous man. So yeah, I mean, AJ Brown is definitely a strong choice. I mean, I almost could make them both equal. He's having a great year, but yeah, I went with CMC as my midseason offensive player.
And real fast, I was looking at him too as like I was thinking, like you said, be creative. I was thinking making them my group of offensive players. So I am impressed with McCaffrey.
All right, Jermaine.
AJ Brown. You know, AJ Brown was definitely being considered in my mind and all that stuff. But you know, if they're going to do, definitely the other person is Tyreek Hill going to be up in that conversation. I mean, the man is on pace for 2,000 receiving yards. Now I know the last couple of games is, he kind of fell off just a little bit. You know what I mean? But I think he's going to get some, gain that more momentum. You know what I mean, to get that and all that stuff. So, and I think the last receiver that actually did that was Calvin. Calvin was 2000.
Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Calvin Johnson, Megatron.
Megatron? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely Tyreek Hill. I mean, Jesus. I mean, he's just a freaking, the speed and everything, and, and AJ is a complete player. Yeah. You know what I mean? The strength and the speed and stuff that he has and all that stuff. But Jesus, I mean, once the cheetah starts, you unleash the cheetah and you don't have nothing to, to go up against, man. He's just unstoppable. So, definitely Tyreek Hill is my on top of the list for me.
That's a good pick too.
All right. I actually that's a perfect segue because I had the duo, Tua. I had Tua because he leads the league in passing. I had Tua and Tyreek Hill. I had both of them, because the combination has just been amazing this year. I mean, Tua's been on fire. Now you can argue, he hasn't beat, teams with winning records and that, but it's hard to argue with his yardage, but you can also look at who number 2 is. And yes, Sam Howell is number 2 in the league with passing yardage, ironically. And Tyreek, or I say Tua is number 1. But yeah, I had the combination Tyreek and Tua, for offensive awards there. All right, Dre, we got to speed this up a little bit.
Okay.
Different guys.
Yep. So what I picked Myles Garrett. He's not leading the sacks. That's Daniel Hunter from the Minnesota Vikings. But I'm going to say that how he's been actually a force to be reckoned with as an individual, because think about what he's been. He's been double. I think it's double teaming. He's been very well against guys who double team him. So he's been getting that very well. He also is one of the best pass rushing productions per snap, and he's ranked second along the edge rushers when you have the pass rush win rate. And he forced some fumbles. He's projected to have 9 fumbles. This guy in like today's game, man, between no, we didn't say today's game was Cleveland, right? Yeah, it was Cleveland. Yeah. So
Baltimore.
Yeah, Cleveland and Baltimore. So I picked Myles Garrett right now as the midseason defensive player.
All right, Mike.
Yep. I'll keep it simple. Myles Garrett.
All right. Yeah, I'm on the same page. I don't know how you don't pick him, Myles Garrett. I definitely had him as my pick as well. You can't argue with that. Jermaine, defensive player of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all hands down. It's definitely Myles Garrett. I don't think nobody's chasing. I mean, who else is, definitely Myles Garrett.
I would say maybe somewhat close second is Max Crosby with the Raiders. They're having a terrible season as a team, but he has been playing really well as a rusher. He's really been making a lot of plays. So Max Crosby was my alternate pick.
Yeah,
but,
I agree with that. Yeah,
I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the offensive rookie. My pick for offensive rookie for midseason is CJ Stroud.
Mhm.
Like you said, he has the single passing game record for 470 yards, and he's second in the rookie league to history, 5 touchdowns. You know who was number one? Matthew Stafford was in his rookie year. So, and he threw 14 touchdowns against 1 interception. So, and then again, his more than 8 yards average plus more 8 yards, and he's 5th most any quarterback this season. All your better quarterbacks than him are not even doing 8 yards per year. So I got CJ Stroud.
Yep. Keep it. If we lose out. Oh, there he is. Keep it unanimous. Yeah, I got CJ Stroud also. I think it's very impressive what he's doing. I think what's interesting is that if you think about it, Houston really doesn't have any weapons. So for him to be able to do this with guys that you really don't know for receivers, wait till he gets a stud receiver, to play with, and then see what he does. So yeah, I go with CJ Stroud.
All right, Jermaine.
Yeah, I mean, he put himself over the top this week. CJ Stroud put him on the top. But if Anthony Richardson didn't get hurt, I mean, I think he will be the one for me. But yeah, definitely CJ Stroud put him on the top. But he's not my guy. He's not my guy. I think what's going to happen is I think Nuka Pakua.
Oh yeah,
I was going to say Pakua.
Yeah. I think he is going to. I think he's going to catch up because I think Nuka was probably whatever his name. I can't. Nuka. Whatever. All right.
Just stop.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But he's before CJ Stroud had this amazing game last week. I think he was I think he was ahead of CJ Stroud. But right now, I think it's going to go neck and neck. You know what I mean, between Nakua and Stroud, and just for one more, just for Jahmyr Gibbs the last couple games. With Detroit, I think he's been running hard. He seemed like he just runs violent. So when I saw that game last week, so yeah, I mean, but definitely, right now it's CJ Stroud for now. Let's see what happens.
Yep. Mid-season. Yep.
Yeah. And I had Stroud also for the moment. Yeah, until somebody else, like Jermaine said, gets close, and let's see what happens with Stroud the rest of the year if they start kind of adjusting to him and how he adjusts to the defenses. So that's really where the quarterbacks go, right? How do they respond when defenses start to adjust to them and they start getting more and more film, and how do they adjust to that? So
right, and just like they're rookies. Yeah, they're rookies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're playing more games in the NFL. I mean, can they run out of gas? Yeah, absolutely. Until they get, until they get their endurance and their stamina and all that stuff. I mean, you're playing 17 games, and I forgot what college is playing. So so they're done in what, December or something like that. You know what I mean? So
they're done. Yeah, November,
yeah, they're done. Yeah.
Well, good test for Stroud today, right?
Exactly. Big test.
Yeah.
Well, I know the next award is pretty much going to be unanimous. I can't imagine that we all didn't pick the same guy. Go ahead, Dre.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, come on.
I have another guy though. He's in there, but I do have another guy. But go ahead, guys.
What? I can't believe that.
To say,
What really? I mean, defensive rookie of the year. But what sold me was Aaron Donald was the last guy who had the same 12 combined tackles and 3.5 sacks over the first 5 games, which Carter has done. And the last guy that did it was Aaron Donald. So that tells me right there that this guy is on the move to be a real good player. So during the midseason, man, I'm impressed with Jalen Carter. I really am, man. I mean, 16 tackles, 9 solo, 4 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and he's running second in the rookie rankings behind Strauss. From what I gathered from my resources.
All right. Jermaine and Mike, any disagreements on that?
That's
No, I mean he was penciled as the best person in the draft.
Yes.
I mean, everyone said it. They was like, that's a steal. I mean, the only problem he had was whatever he did racing in college and that whole nonsense that happened. But other than that, I don't think he had any other character issues. So yeah, no, I mean this was somewhat expected.
All right, Jermaine.
So yeah, I think the only thing I have is that I just hope that the second half of the season he doesn't run out of gas. That's all, because we're going to need him on that line. We definitely going to need him on that line. So yeah, that's Jalen Carter is definitely the midseason. So that's just my concern. So.
Yeah, and I had Carter, but I also had, and this guy leads the league out of all rookies in sacks, and that's Byron Young from the Rams, the outside linebacker.
Yeah,
it's Byron Young.
Yeah,
the outside linebacker for the Rams. I looked at him too, Sal. I did. Yeah. I was like, "Ooh, man,
he's ahead of Carter." Yeah,
he is. He is ahead of Carter. But I was just talking about the potential Carter's doing, and
no question,
it's a game changer. So
he is. He's got the much higher ceiling. There's no question about that. Yeah, but Young has had an amazing season with McGenius, Mike. You got to give McGenius credit.
Raheem Morris, out there, defensive coordinator.
He's got a better chance of giving McGenius credit than I do giving Howie credit. Come on.
Yep. So the last thing I have, I know there's potential. We got to really finish up here, but the last thing I had, is I actually had.
We have two more coaching, right? We have coaching
potential.
I actually had a grouping here. This is my group right here, guys. I'm picking. Let me go start with Mike Tomlin first, because you're like, wow, Mike. No, Mike Tomlin has been. The Pittsburgh Steelers are really moved well in what he's been done in the last three games. I say Mike Tomlin is midseason coach of the year because of what he has been doing with this team, with the rebuild, with dealing with the quarterback and stuff, and like some of the players I don't even know who they are and where they are. Man, they're doing pretty well. Nick Sirianni, they're 8-1, and I do have some gripes with some of his play calling, which part of the the coordinators, but I have to give the man, look, they're 8-1 for what they're doing, and if he takes this team all the way, you got to give it to him. And then I said Doug Peterson because Jaguars are the sleeper, man. Last year, you guys were talking about the Jaguars and everything. I say this year, look at where they are. And then Dan Campbell, man. I mean, come on, Detroit Lions. I mean, what he's done opening the game up, beating Kansas City, and then how he's got these guys really, really playing well, defense as well. Goff, I never thought Goff would be actually considered, after what I saw from the Rams and how bad he was over there, and now where he is now. I think these four coaches are the midseason coaches.
All right, Mike.
So I considered all of those guys. Out of the four, I picked Nick Sirianni, actually. And I know he's kind of arrogant, so he kind of gets me the wrong way sometimes. But, you lose two coordinators, offense, defensive coordinator, and you still have an 8-1 team.
Yeah.
You have pretty much an unstoppable play, which is from that, basically number one offensive line. They're able to run that play. It's like saying often imitate it, never duplicate it. All right. No one else has been able to run the brotherly shove like they do it. So yeah, I'd say it's one of those things where you have a good team and you got to keep a good team playing at a high level. And Nick Sirianni has, really kind of been able to do that. Yeah, there's some blemishes there. It's not perfect, but 8-1 speaks for itself. Real quick on Tomlin, I was going to pick Mike Tomlin because I do think that Pittsburgh is really winning games and they got a much better record than I really expect. But the only reason I didn't pick him is because Pittsburgh's kind of in the mess they're in because of Mike Tomlin. His loyalty to Matt Canada, when literally everyone is just kind of like, you got to get rid of this guy. This offense is trash. I mean, it's just they're not doing anything to mix it up. It's horrible football. It's almost as bad as watching the Jets play offense. And I think a lot of that is Mike Tomlin. Mike, is just loyal. Loyal to a fault, as some people say in management. And I think that the offense has got to change. Otherwise, they're going to still be Mike Tomlin had a winning season this year, but they haven't got anywhere close to the Super Bowl in I don't know how many years either. So that's the reason why I didn't pick him. But yeah, Sirianni's a guy so far.
It's a love-hate relationship with Mike. So yeah.
There you go. All right, Jermaine.
Yeah, I kind of agree with the 4 coaches that you have here, but yeah, the one I had was Dan Campbell. But then I want to throw one more in there. You know what I mean? Because he's holding the ship down, and I know we all, as Eagle fans, have problems with him, especially me personally. Definitely Andy Reid. You got to throw Andy Reid in there. You know, 6-2. I mean, you know, Super Bowl champs. You got a bullseye on your neck, and you still coming out 6-2. You know, I mean, they got problems, but you know, Andy's holding it down. Andy is holding it down. So, but yeah, I agree with these 4 on here, but definitely Dan Campbell is on top of my list, and then, you know, I feel as though Andy Reid's got to be thrown in this mix as well. So,
yeah. I think what's helping Andy Reid a lot is actually Steve Spagnuolo. That defense has actually improved handsomely, you know, and that's kept him in a lot of games, especially that Miami game. That's been his. You know, it's surprising to hear the defense is helping him out. Usually, their defense is invisible.
Yeah, I had Sirianni and Peterson. I had those 2. You know, Nick is finding, again, play calling aside. I agree with Dre on that. He's finding ways to win, and he's doing it. Can it continue? It's a dangerous game to play, to keep saying, oh yeah, you know, well, they won, but it was ugly, and they won, but every week we come back and say, but he's finding ways to do it, and he's keeping the team together. So and Peterson, we know what he is. I mean, he's a solid coach who, you know, can take a team far, and the players like him a lot. He's a players coach. And he's a perfect coach for quarterbacks who are developing, which is why I think you're seeing Trevor Lawrence do what he's doing. So, so I definitely had those 2, and you know, I agree with those. Tomlin, I'm not sold on for this kind of the same reasons Mike did. I think he has his flaws, and I think eventually it's going to rear its ugly head again. Now it's looking okay, but I think you're going to see the Steelers if Pickett doesn't turn it around soon, you're going to start seeing something else.
They're just winning games with that defense, and then getting a turnover or getting just enough offense to have more points than the other team. You know, it's just like, I could win by 2 or 3 points, but you could do so much more if you just had some actually, you know. I mean, you saw the receivers. I mean, what was it? Deontay Washington, you know, had a touchdown in 2 seasons. I mean,
that's crazy.
You got to look at the running game too. I mean, Pittsburgh was built on their defense and their running game. Najee Harris, where the hell is he at? You know what I mean?
Where is he at?
You got Warren too. So it's just like that running game is a mess. And that's what they was built off. That's what Pittsburgh was built off of. Is the defense.
Right. But the offensive line has been a mess. The offense has been a mess. The offense has been a mess. And it seemed like the common thread right now is Matt Canada, who's like in his 4th year as offensive coordinator.
Right.
It just isn't creative. It just isn't there. And Tomlin's got to make a change, man. I know he won't fire anybody mid-season. It's just not him. But, you know, this is really starting to reflect back on him as, you're winning, but you're never going to get a championship for that team with this offense. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Yep. All right, last one. Most potential to finish strong. We're an hour 8 in, guys. So let's we'll do this one quick. What do we got?
So potential finishing strong. I didn't have a slide for that because I just didn't know what to put down. It's a lot going on, man. I mean, the players that you guys have mentioned, like Tyreek Hill and but you know what? The guy I think is going to finish strong, and I had him down too as a running back, is the rookie running back from Atlanta.
Bijan.
I'm sorry, the rookie running back. Yeah, Bijan.
Bijan Robinson. Yeah.
Bijan Robinson. I think he has potential for finishing strong.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah. Y'all gonna kill me on this one, but I got Chase Young. I just think it's that perfect mix of I can get a big contract if I play well. I'm on a team that, has a decent offensive line. So this is like the best chance to get that big payday. So this is, the money's there.
Right.
Dude just got to step up. So I feel like this is him going out trying to make his money.
All right, Jermaine.
You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb because I really didn't think about it. You know what I mean? But the potential for finishing strong is the Eagles' defense secondary.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm going out on the limb.
I'm
going out on the limb.
That's
I said, look, this bye week didn't come at a better time.
Right, Jermaine.
Kevin Byard, he has a whole 2 weeks to figure out the playbook.
That's
he sounds
true.
like he's a leader. Bradley Roby, like you said, Sal, is coming back in that slot because we desperately need a slot corner. And I think I'm gonna be on the Bradbury train, but if I see something what he did in Dallas, I'm done. So yeah, I'm looking at the Eagles secondary finishing strong because I feel as though although this whole team has been winning ugly, Brian Dawkins said it the best on WIP the other day. He's like, we're winning ugly, and that's a good thing. Because if we was winning like we was before, we wouldn't have had nothing to fix. So they are aware that they have to fix this nonsense, especially the secondary.
Right.
They are all aware that they have to fix this. So hopefully coming next week when you go to KC, hopefully it's all fixed. But I'm picking the secondary. Finish strong, baby. Finish strong.
Yeah. On that, I'm gonna go out on a limb too. Rashad Penny. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, you know what? I'm not really mad at you with that pick, Sal.
No, I'm
really not. No, seriously, don't kid, man. Seriously, maybe they might be mixing some stuff up. Who knows?
Maybe when he gets colder, man, he'll really produce.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because he's a bruiser. He's a big back. He's quick and he runs. So yeah, Dre. Sal, I'm not mad at you.
No, I had him and I had Bijan because I read an article that's saying Atlanta is they're done with the quarterback. So they are focusing on the run now, and they're just going to feature Robinson the rest of the year. Yep. So unless the defense is stacked 8 or 9 in the box and just completely try to shut him down, I don't know. And I agree with you on Penny. The reason why I picked him is because I think the Eagles are hiding him a little bit. I think it's the Jay Ajayi effect that he's going to come out at the end all of a sudden and just tear it up.
Yep, and just tear it up. Yeah, because he ran hard the 2 times that he ran against Dallas. I was like, what are y'all doing? Don't give him another chance. So
that and the combination that Swift has gone down from 6.1 average to 3.1. Swift has been non-existent lately. So he's but we'll see.
Yeah, I think some of that's the AJ effect, though. I think
so too.
Yeah, I agree on that too. Yeah, some of that's the AJ effect, but
AJ effect and Julio's. I think Julio's going to be in the mix now. Since what's his name?
Julio's going to be mixed. But also Swift's going to get some catches in the backfield because Goddard's done too. I think.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But that red zone, Julio, they're definitely that red zone. I think Julio's going to be more in the mix, and it's Swift too. And I'm just the more as it goes on, let's just calm down on this tush push because I feel as though somebody's going to get hurt. It's coming. It's coming. Do you understand? You see that pile and everybody. Devontae was like, "Yo, the biggest thing with Devontae was like, yo, you on the ground, you can't breathe. You know what I mean? You on that, you on the pile and all that stuff. You cannot breathe." So
Jermaine, how do you think Kelsey's feeling?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Somebody's gonna get
Kelsey hurt. Gets up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And
he's like, this is more and more why I'm gonna retire next year.
Yeah, dude. Right. Yeah, this push, but I just feel as though that we can't afford an injury. We can't afford a major injury. And like you said, Dre, Kelsey's the one because he's the one that's on the bottom with 5 tons of weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kelsey's like, what am I doing wrong? I need a Taylor Swift and just be a tight end, you know?
Right. And they're just laying on it, and they're doing that on purpose. Like, I'm just going to take my time to get off the pile.
And I think that's the reason why he cut his hair off and buzzed it so he can get some coolness. He's too hot,
man. Your face mask is laying on the turf, and you just waiting for everybody to get that. That's not a good feeling.
You got a bunch of 300-pound guys on you. That's like 900 pounds of weight on top of you.
Yeah, everybody passing gas, and they you don't know. Man, look, when I played high school football, man, that's what everybody look. I'm just saying. All right.
Oh man! All right, I got messages. Sal, you can just close the show right now. On that note, so enough of the game. Let us know your thoughts on your players of the year. EnoughSaidCrew@gmail.com. We are, as always, on every Sunday at 11 o'clock. We are the Enough Said podcast. You can subscribe to us on Twitter and YouTube and all of those channels. We have fixed the issue. So those of you who are watching us now, you can actually see, if you go to the live tab, you can actually see our broadcast before it actually goes on the air, thanks to Dre. So thank you for doing that. And if you subscribe now, Dre, they also get a notice, correct?
Correct. That's right.
Okay. All right.
Please
so
subscribe.
hopefully that issue is resolved and we can get everybody in, because they always say, Jermaine, they want to hear me bust on you in the beginning of the show. That's their favorite part. They're going to want to see what line I'm going to come up with, you know? So
man, that's why I did it on purpose, coming on late, because you have Clown Mike, Clown Mike, and all that. Yeah, I'm giving you.
Yeah, of course we got you driving and videotaping.
Yeah.
All right, guys, have a good week, and we'll catch up again on the flip side. Take care.
All right, y'all.
Enjoy the games today.
Yeah.